In the year 1904, a significant part of history in the city of gentle people, 7 vibrant and devoted sisters of St. Paul of Chartres landed in the shores of Dumaguete City to spread, nurture, and strengthen the Catholic faith. A mission once told, a journey fulfilled today. A university fit not just for learning, but for holistic educational attainments. A university that does not only form brilliant minds, but hones God-fearing hearts, thus producing Christ-centered individuals. St. Paul University Dumaguete, passion for excellence in service. Paulinian Blended Learning, PBL, is St. Paul University Dumaguete's outcomes-based distance learning platform. It comes in 2 modes. Pulsing, a synchronous modality of the PBL platform where modular teaching-learning engagements happen online in a specific virtual environment such as the Microsoft Teams, Moodle, and Kuiper School. Pulflex, a synchronous modality of the Paulinian Blended Learning platform where teaching-learning engagements happen offline in a modular self-paced timeframe. There are choices available in this modality, namely Paulinian Thumb and Paulinian Packets. Summative assessments will be more performance-based and project-based to allow students to exhibit what they have learned and apply them in various contexts, scenarios, and challenges. A structured schedule of synchronous and asynchronous sessions and consultations will be provided to guide the students in managing their learning tasks and to keep the parents well informed. Religious instructions, recollections, Eucharistic celebrations, faith sharing, spiritual and religious activities are made available online. If a question or concern about the lesson or the learning task surfaces outside the online session, the student may communicate with the teacher either by sending a direct message via official platforms or by using the consultation period to personally talk with the teacher via video conferencing or phone call. To equip and prepare the students for the use of the learning platforms, an orientation program with instructional videos and other informational materials from Microsoft and Kuiper School will be made available to them. Parents will be playing an important role in making PBL work, especially for younger learners who need more supervision or assistance. Preschool to grade 3, Microsoft Teams. Grades 4 to 12, Kuiper School, Microsoft Teams. St. Paul University Dumaguete is new normal ready. What are you waiting for? Come and join our growing Paulinian family. In the year 1904, a significant part of history in the city of gentle people, 7 vibrant and devoted sisters of St. Paul of Chartres landed in the shores of Dumaguete City to spread, nurture, and strengthen the Catholic faith. A mission once told, a journey fulfilled today. A university fit not just for learning, but for holistic educational attainments. A university that does not only form brilliant minds, but hones God-fearing hearts, thus producing Christ-centered individuals. St. Paul University Dumaguete, passion for excellence in service. Polinian Blended Learning, PBL, is St. Paul University Dumaguete's outcomes-based distance learning platform. It comes in 2 modes. Pulsing, a synchronous modality of the PBL platform where modular teaching learning engagements happen online in a specific virtual environment such as the Microsoft Teams, Moodle, and Creeper School. Polflex, a synchronous modality of the Polinian Blended Learning platform where teaching learning engagements happen offline in a modular self-paced time frame. There are choices available in this modality, namely Polinian Thumb and Polinian Packets. Summative assessments will be more performance-based and project-based to allow students to exhibit what they have learned and apply them in various contexts, scenarios, and challenges. A structured schedule of synchronous and asynchronous sessions and consultations will be provided to guide the students in managing their learning tasks and to keep the parents well informed. Religious instructions, recollections, Eucharistic celebrations, faith sharing, spiritual and religious activities are made available online. If a question or concern about the lesson or the learning task surfaces outside the online session, the student may communicate with the teacher either by sending a direct message via official platforms or by using the consultation period to personally talk with the teacher via video conferencing or phone call. To equip and prepare the students for the use of the learning platforms, an orientation program with instructional videos and other informational materials from Microsoft and Creeper School will be made available to them. Parents will be playing an important role in making PBL work, especially for younger learners who need more supervision or assistance. Preschool to grade 3, Microsoft Teams. Grades 4 to 12, Creeper School, Microsoft Teams. St. Paul University Dumaguete is new normal ready. What are you waiting for? Come and join our growing Polinian family. In the year 1904, a significant part of history in the city of gentle people, 7 vibrant and devoted sisters of St. Paul of Chartres landed in the shores of Dumaguete City to spread, nurture, and strengthen the Catholic faith. A mission once told, a journey fulfilled today. A university fit not just for learning, but for holistic educational attainments. A university that does not only form brilliant minds, but hones God-fearing hearts, thus producing Christ-centered individuals. St. Paul University Dumaguete, passion for excellence in service. Paulinian Blended Learning, PBL, is St. Paul University Dumaguete's outcomes-based distance learning platform. It comes in 2 modes. Pulsing, a synchronous modality of the PBL platform where modular teaching learning engagements happen online in a specific virtual environment such as the Microsoft Teams, Moodle, and Creeper School. Pulflex, a synchronous modality of the Paulinian Blended Learning platform where teaching learning engagements happen offline in a modular self-paced timeframe. There are choices available in this modality, namely Paulinian Thumb and Paulinian Packets. Summative assessments will be more performance-based and project-based to allow students to exhibit what they have learned and apply them in various contexts, scenarios, and challenges. A structured schedule of synchronous and asynchronous sessions and
origins of academic regalia are obscured in history, but are believed to have originated in the 12th and 13th centuries. Typically, the medieval scholar would have taken ecclesiastical vows and would have been tonsured. Long gowns were worn and may have been required for warmth in the unheated monasteries, where ancient texts were maintained. Hoods and later skull caps would have served to cover the shaved head. The wearing of distinctive regalia for universities, consisting of cap, gown, and hood, began in England. There, in the second half of the 14th century, the statutes of certain colleges prescribed the wearing of a long gown by faculty and students. Although originally attached to the robe, the hood subsequently became separated. The earliest hoods for undergraduates were a somber black and had no lining. Upon completion of a bachelor's degree, bachelors had an optional woolen or badger skin lining added to their hoods. Graduates of higher degrees, such as postgraduate degrees, and individuals of high birth had hoods lined with silk. Later, graduates abandoned the hood altogether, and the hood became the distinctive mark of having attained a college or university degree. Over time, distinctive colors were adopted by each discipline to distinguish them from their colleagues in the other fields of learning. The tradition of special academic dress seems to have entered the United States in colonial New York as late as the 1800s. Different institutions established their own academic dress codes, similar to what is done throughout Europe to this day. Both bachelor's and postgraduate gowns are untrimmed. Unlike the bachelor's gown, which is designed to be worn closed and has pointed sleeves, the master's gown can be worn open or closed and has an oblong open sleeve which hangs down in the traditional manner. The colors you see in the hoods and gowns represent the various fields in which the degrees were earned. The mortarboard or square cap, as we see it now, originated from the joining of the elements of a bonnet and a skull cap as early as 1600 in Oxford University. Scholars have begun using the lightweight boards to hold out the corners of their bonnets. The tassel, worn on the left of the cap, may be gold if the holder has a doctor's degree. The colorful hood is reserved for those individuals who have attained academic degrees beyond the bachelor's degree. The hood is a special part of the academic regalia that denotes scholarly and professional achievements. The hood, which differ in length for these 3 degrees, are lined with the official colors of the university or college conferring the degree, usually with one color forming a chevron pattern over the other. Hoods are edged and bound with a velvet of the color appropriate for the degree. All the elements of the graduation regalia serve to announce a student's achievements in his or her area of study. The hood, draped over the shoulder and down the back, indicates the program that has been completed by the student and the university that conferred the degree. The level of degree is indicated by the size of the hood. The velvet binding of the hood is the color designating the subject of the degree achieved. The satin lining of the hood indicates the university conferring the degree. In the year of our Lord 2020-2021 in Dumaguete, in the presence of the university officials, the St. Paul of Chartres, the regional director of the Commission on Higher Education, guests, members of the faculty, members of the board, staff, parents, and candidates for graduation, the 75th commencement exercises of St. Paul University Dumaguete is hereby officially declared in session. Please rise as we welcome the candidates for graduation, the members of the faculty, the administrators, and guests of St. Paul University, Dumaguete. May I request everyone to please stand for the entrance of St. Paul University, Dumaguete's different higher education flags and the entrance of faculty, guests, and members of the administration. The Graduate School, represented by Dr. Richard Pasco. Mr. Alexander Baina carries the flag of the College of Arts, Sciences, and Education. For the College of Business and Information Technology, the flag bearer is Mrs. Pamela Uy. And Maria Rowena Masicampo, RN, is the color bearer in the College of Nursing. The candidates for graduation in the Graduate School: Doctor in Education, Doctor in Business Administration, Doctor in Science and Environmental Studies, Master of Arts in Education, Master of Business Administration, Master of Arts in Nursing, Master of Science in Nursing, Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Secondary Education, Bachelor of Elementary Education, Bachelor of Science in Accountancy, Bachelor of Science in Management Accounting, Bachelor of Science in Tourism, Bachelor of Science in Hotel and Restaurant Management, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, Bachelor of Science in Information Technology, Bachelor of Science in Nursing. Let's welcome the members of the faculty of St. Paul University, Dumaguete. Graduate School. College of Arts, Sciences, and Education. College of Business and Information Technology. College of Nursing. Ladies and gentlemen, the academic team, program chairs, deans, the Sisters of St. Paul of Chartres and St. Paul University, Dumaguete, and our lay administrators. President, University Mates. Let's welcome our University President. the entrance of colors. Please remain standing for the invocation to be led by Ms. Christine Joyce V. Kitay, Bachelor of Elementary Education, and please remain standing for the Philippine National Anthem to be conducted by Dr. Enriqueta Simafranca, Program Chair, Graduate School of Education of St. Paul University, Dumaguete.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Our loving and gracious Father, we thank you for gathering us today to celebrate our success. We thank you for all the graces that you showered upon us that enabled all of us to reach this end and this new beginning. Thank you for blessing us with strength and positivity in the middle of pain and hardship. Thank you for St. Paul University, Dumaguete, which has given us a safe place and environment to learn and experience a strong foundation to build ourselves. Thank you for giving us the best teachers, because they do not only mold us to be the best version of ourselves, but they encourage us to strive towards excellence in all that we do. That is all for the glory of God. For our families who have patiently stood by our side through ups and downs, and to our classmates and friends who have enjoyed life with us throughout the years, for the hardships and tears we have endured together to reach this end, thank you so much. We will surely carry with us all the values that we have learned beyond the walls of St. Paul University, Dumaguete. Dear Father, as we look towards the future, we humbly ask for you to lead each one of us as we go and find ourselves in the professional and missionary fields you have prepared for us. Bless our lives from this day on with goodness and success. May we use our gifts wisely for the service of others and to always seek for the greater good. We ask this in your mighty name and in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, who lives and reigns in unity with the Holy Spirit forever and ever. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Please be seated. Our inspirational speaker this morning is a member of the Board of Regents of the Universidad de Manila and a visiting professor in a number of colleges and universities all over the country. He's a passionate public servant and an advocate of higher education. Please help me welcome our inspirational speaker, the Regional Director of the Commission on Higher Education for Region 7, Dr. Maximo C. Aljibe.
A very special one because sa linggong po ito ay atin pong claim ika nga ang victory for higher education in the country. It is doubly inspiring and worth claiming because today is your 75th commencement exercise. And I would like to thank our very dear President of St. Paul's University in Dumaguete City, hanggang ngayon, very pleased pa sa aking puso yung kanyang personal na pagbati last year, yung birthday ko. And of course, it happened because of a very dear friend, yung aking kasama sa pagiging Popovich Scholar, ang mahal kong kaibigan, si Sister Helen Malubay, the Vice President for Academic. Sister, of course, the President, si Sister Jocelyn Lasala, Sister Ellen Lorenzana, the St. Paul's Community Local Superior. Again, my dear friend, Sister Helen Malubay, the VP for Academic. Sister Mary Maynard Paglinawan, the Vice President for Administration. And our very important guest today, Attorney Mary Grace Rimosquelu and Tiki, our commencement speaker today. Our lay administrator, deans, faculty, parents, and of course, our candidates for graduation for school years 2019-2020 and school year 2020-2021. Lubos po ang aking kagalakan na maging kabahagi itong napaka-importante sa buhay ninyo, sa buhay ng St. Paul University of Dumaguete, and of course, the Commission on Higher Education, particularly in the region, Central Visayas. Ang tema po ng inyong commencement exercise ay ako po. Dahil for what I have said a while ago, we are celebrating the 27th foundation anniversary of the Commission and the first ever National Higher Education Day, which was held last May 18th. That by virtue of Republic Act 11522, signed by the President, declaring that May 18th of every year is our National Higher Education Day. And for this year, ang tema po natin ay ang pagpadya, moving forward, claiming victory for Philippine higher education, pamantasan, pandayan, tungo sa kaunlaran. Hindi. St. Paul University, your thing today, gifted to give us bearers of joyful hope. Nakakatuwa po dahil ang St. Paul University of Dumaguete has been known for its integrity and quality education in all levels. being one of the ramparts in Dumaguete City, the college has been instrumental, but the university has been instrumental in shaping the big dreams of the youth in the city and neighboring towns and municipalities. In transforming learning strategies that suit the needs and challenges of time. My dear graduates, dear parents, rejoice that despite the COVID-19 pandemic, it has never rocked the foundation of St. Paul University. It continues to produce God-fearing and globally competitive graduates. This signifies its strength in its mission and vision as it travels through a variety of challenges in the name of excellence in education. Ladies and gentlemen, with great pride, I express my highest admiration to all of you, dear graduates, faculty, and staff alike, and the parents most especially, as you get through those very tough days together. I know how difficult it is to stay aware of what's happening in the world, and at the same time dealing with the monologue inside your mind, inside your head. But consecrating it all, we are all here today, my dear graduates, in which in a few moments from now, you will be receiving your diplomas with great honor and pride. I remember the famous Irish poet Oscar Wilde's lines. We are all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. You, my dear graduate, as today marks as a living testimony that there is always hope. In fact, you are gifted to give as bearers of that hope, a very joyful hope. The pandemic has changed many things in our lives, but for us, for you, building a better community continues to be paramount. Perhaps that is one of the things that this virus probably forced many of us to do, to believe that there is hope and keep on moving forward. Today, your graduation is always an exciting part of the schooling. It is not the end of the schooling, but the beginning of a new chapter of learning. It leads the graduates to the many steps of the ladder of success. It brings them to the echelon of new discoveries that are meant to shape them to become what they are in the process. It is a confirmation of what every graduate has invested in the process of learning the principle of life in order to succeed in choosing degree or further specialization or a particular grade level in education, whatever that may be. Graduation has a lot of chapters that involve humility, patience, resourcefulness, time management, resilience, open-mindedness, and sense for others. For yet, the theme of your graduation today, you are all gifted to give as bearers of that very joyful hope. That is sense for others. All of these qualities are implicit of a God-centered journey. Paulinians, graduates, gifted to give us bearers of joy or hope. These qualities should be imbibed by every graduate as a confirmation of sacrifices done in order to succeed in his schooling. I'd like to congratulate each one of you, lalo-lalo na po ang mga nagsakripisyo, mga magulang natin. Alam ko po na gustuhin natin ang face-to-face graduation. It is impossible for today. We have to preserve life. Our health is of utmost concern. We have to abide by the rules of the IATF. Dasal po tayo na sa susunod pong graduation session po ay maging face-to-face na po. Yes. So virtually, I would encourage each one of you, for today is a joyful harvest time of what every one of you students planted on the complicated, soul-scorching and life-changing fields of learning, lalo-lalo na sa kapanahunan ng pandemya. The rigid processes of learning in formal education provide platforms for the union of the old and the new ideas, and through which every student must understand so he or she can creatively develop many concepts. Match these concepts with actual experiences, create new ideas out of such, and contribute to the development agenda of society and country. Gifted bearers of joyful hope. To all of you, my dear graduates, especially to Central University Management of Dumaguete, bearers of joyful hope and silver lining, I wish everyone of us be feeling and listening. Congratulations. Continue to become light to others by living the mission and vision of your alma mater. Live and love your diploma and become instrument of change to the city of Dumaguete, to our country, and to the world. Muli, marami pong salamat, President, Sister Jocelyn Lasara, my good friend, fellow open scholar, Sister Helen Malubay, sa inyong pong imbitasyon at naging kabahagi sa napakaganda at napaka-memorable na okasyon ito, your 75th commencement exercise. Marami pong salamat. Happy graduation. Happy foundation anniversary ng CHED. And happy first National Higher Education Day. Bago ko pong tuldukan ang pagbibigay ng inspirational message sa inyo po lahat, I'd like to reiterate our invitation to the University President, if she could join us on Saturday, and that's tomorrow, for the university will be receiving an Excellence Award, and of course, Sister Nasa. Gandang umaga po at mabuhay po ang ating mga graduates today. Maraming
Indeed, service to others is one of the most important qualities of a Polinian graduate. Thank you for your time off despite your busy schedule. At this point, to award the Certificate of Appreciation to the Honorable Regional Director of the Commission on Higher Education, Region 7, is Sister Jocelyn R. Lasala, SPC, University President. The citation goes, the Certificate of Recognition is awarded to Dr. Maximo C. Aljibe, CESO 3, Director 4, Ched RO7, in grateful acknowledgement of his distinguished and invaluable service rendered as guest of honor during the 75th commencement exercises of St. Paul University Dumaguete with the theme, Polinian Graduates Gifted to Give as Bearers of Hope. On May 21, 2021, at St. Paul University Dumaguete, Dumaguete City, given this 21st day of May in the year of our Lord, 2021. Signed, Sister Helen A. Malubay, SPC, VP for Academic Affairs, and Sister Jocelyn R. Lasala, SPC, our University President.
Thank you very much, Dr. Alhedi.
To capture this important and momentous presence of our highly esteemed CHED Director, may I request the graduates to turn on their cameras for the picture taking with Dr. Maximo Aljibe, the Director for CHED Region 7. So continue smiling, graduates. We are taking your photos now. Please turn on your cameras if you have not done so yet. Okay, another round of applause, please, for Dr. Maximo Aljibe. Once a Polinian, forever a Polinian. We are always excited and truly happy each time we meet and we are visited or we visit our alumni. I am sure you will agree with me that any word of wisdom from our alumni is like a priceless treasure that we always behold. May I call on Dr. Clifford M. Kilat, RN, Dean of the College of Nursing, to introduce our commencement speaker.
Sister Jocelyn Lasala, SPC, our University President, Sister Helen Malubay, SPC, Vice President, Academic Affairs, Sister Ellen Lorenzana, SPC, our Local Superior, Sister Mary Minard Paglinawan, SPC, Vice President, Academic Administration Affairs and Student Services, distinguished guests, Dr. Maximo Aljibe, CHED Regional Director, Region 7, our guest speaker herself, Attorney Anteque, Polinian students and graduates, honored parents and guardians, and to everyone who are joining us online, good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, today I am honored to introduce to you our resource speaker. She graduated with a degree of Bachelor's of Science in Nursing here in St. Paul University, Dumaguete, last 2012. She took and passed the nursing licensure examination on the same year. Immediately after passing the board examination, she practiced her profession and expressed her vocation as a volunteer nurse at Governor William Villegas Hospital, Gihulngan City. In 2013, she enrolled in Bachelor of Laws at University of Perpetual System Laguna and has graduated last 2017, of which she took and passed the bar examination on the same year. Currently, she is a member of Integrated Bar of the Philippines, Dumaguete Chapter. She is the Assistant City Administrator or Assistant City Legal Officer Designate of LGU Gihulngan City. She is a practicing lawyer and a notary public for San Carlos City, Escalante City, Calatrava, and Toboso Negros Occidental. She is also a part-time instructor teaching law on obligations and contracts, law on partnership and corporation, taxation, microeconomics and applied economics, at the College of Business Administration of Negros Oriental State University, Gihulngan Campus. Simultaneously, at this time of pandemic, she is the incident commander of the Gihulngan City IATF for Emerging and Infectious Diseases. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great honor and pride to introduce to you a professional and a leader who can serve, who can teach, and who can do business administration. And most of all, you got it all from Apollinian. Our guest speaker, please help me welcome Attorney Mary Grace R. Antique, RN.
Thank you, Sir Kilat. I know that he is already the Dean of the College of Nursing, but I am used of calling him Mr. Kilat since I am also one of his students before. This may sound redundant, but allow me to give my respect to the following persons. Sister Jocelyn Lasala, SPC, our University President. Sister Helen Malubay, SPC, Vice President for Academic Affairs. Sister Ellen Lorenzana, SPC, our Local Superior. Sister Mary Margaret Paglinawan, SPC, Vice President for Academic Affairs. CHED Regional Director, Dr. Maximo Aljibe. To our graduates, students here present, parents, guests, friends, and to all other graduates who are present via our Zoom platform, good morning. Honestly speaking, since Mr. Kilat was the one who coordinated to me, I thought that I would be delivering speech to my fellow to our nursing graduates. However, as a Paulinian, I was trained to be flexible. So I immediately came up with an inspirational message to each and every one of you. And I hope that I could deliver this well today. I am greatly honored to be invited as guest speaker by my very own alma mater. I never imagined, not even in my wildest dreams, that I will be invited to be a guest speaker. I am thrilled to see familiar faces, especially my former clinical instructors. You know, dear graduates, I am not an academic achiever while I was still a student here in St. Paul University. I was just a simple nursing student before. I was not awarded with any awards, except for one semester where I was granted a 2,000 pesos discount for my tuition. Thank you. You know what? I find it somehow funny to be standing here today, seeing my clinical instructors there with the SPC sisters watching me. At present, I am used to appear now before courts, defending clients, assisting them in bailing out from jail, examining witnesses, debating with opposing counsels. However, I still feel the same emotions I felt during my graded return demonstrations and case presentations in front of my clinical instructors. Their presence is still nerve-wracking up to this moment. As Paulinian students, we are trained to always look neat, always clean. I am sorry to say, sisters, but I am also one of those students who are disobedient in terms of wearing our heels. To us nursing, students, our hairs must at all times be well kept and tied. And we have to rely on the power of our gels, our Rites, and our hair oils just to look clean, especially in my case, since I also stayed in the dormitory of St. Paul for 4 years. Imagine waking up every morning in St. Paul University, and after my class, dito ra Japon ko mouli sa dormitory sa St. Paul. I was watched from day till night by an SPC sister. We are awakened by the bell of the sisters just for us to attend the Mass at the chapel. I was really trained to be Apollinian. So much for that. I have to deliver my speech now. It was written in the invitation that my task is to inspire our dear graduates. It is very humbling on my part as well as a great task. The first question that popped on my mind was, how do I inspire my little brothers and sisters and other graduates that would somehow be relevant to our theme, Paulinian graduates gifted to give as bearers of joyful hope? I know there are some batches here who are supposed to take their respective board examinations. However, the same was postponed for almost 2 years. And I understand that our graduates and our parents are already drained of their resources. I know these Paulinian graduates are prepared. They are ready. And I am absolutely confident that they will pass their respective board examinations. Last April, I was invited to I was assigned to give a review on nursing jurisprudence to the nursing graduates. And I have observed that they are already ready. It was just so frustrating when everyone was busy preparing and then the exam was postponed. However, all I can say is that our dear graduates do not lose hope. Consider the postponement as a driving motivation to study and review harder. Keep your focus and remember that the exams or whatever you are preparing right now were just postponed. It was not canceled. Do not be complacent. Read, read, and read, regardless of the number of times you already spent reading the same topic. Who knows that this might be a sign that one of you will ace the board examinations. During this challenging time, as we face this COVID-19 pandemic, where healthcare workers and other professionals are needed in this battle, dedication and zeal are needed more than ever. I know majority of us somehow hope that our present circumstances were different from last year and that somehow we could converge in this venue and be together in person to celebrate this momentous time of our graduates. These Paulinian graduates, new Paulinian graduates, are our bearers of hope and light. That although we are in the middle of a pandemic, this prestigious school has once again produced amazing professionals who had shown competency and commitment to finish their degree while learning in a different venue. I must say that they have an amazing dedication to study and learn since they shifted in learning through virtual platform. And their flexibility and adaptability was shown, and that is what we need today. We need graduates or professionals who are flexible and can adapt easily to the changes of our environment. Please allow me to share my experience. Just like all of you, I also sat in those chairs where you are seated right now. I was also there listening to the speech conveyed by our speakers. And I was so inspired that I did my best to pass the licensure exam for nurses. And voila, I passed the nurses licensure examination along with my classmates. Months after that, I decided to take up law. Not in Negros Oriental, but I courageously decided to take up law in Manila, specifically in Laguna. I thought at first that I wouldn't excel like my classmates who took political science, those who were trained 4 years before they enter the College of Law. Who would have thought a nursing graduate to law school? But hey, we were trained different in St. Paul. I remember we had a subject named legal medicine. This is a branch of science and medicine involving the study and application of scientific and medical knowledge to legal problems, and where medical terms were a piece of cake for a nursing graduate like me. I'm just kidding. I'm not a braggart here, sister. So yeah, I passed the bar and practiced my new profession. But my nursing profession tends to always test my passion and vocation as a Polina nurse. When we had our worst time during the pandemic in Gihulngan City, I was called to be the incident commander of the Gihulngan City Interagency Task Force for Emerging and Infectious Diseases. I was hesitant at first, since to be appointed as such would only add up to my present workload and without additional benefit or remuneration from my present work. But I am a nurse, a Polina nurse, who taught by my school to walk, act, and serve like Christ. I grabbed the opportunity, and presently, I am practicing both of my professions, as a nurse and as a lawyer. I couldn't imagine that this would happen, and my knowledge in nursing really helped me a lot to function as the incident commander of our city. Imagine me, a plain lawyer, not a nurse, and referred with a patient manifesting dyspnea, pleural effusion with O2 saturation of 90%. A plain lawyer wouldn't understand those terms. That's why I am very grateful that I graduated here at St. Paul University and was trained by my teachers to be flexible and dedicated to what I have finished and what I have become. In sum, let me remind you that we are not just Polinian graduates. We are not just graduates. We are Polinian graduates, and that we can make a great difference. I personally find that there is nothing more satisfying than nurturing and encouraging you, our dear graduates, to be the best version of yourselves and perform to the best of your abilities. I welcome you all in this noble profession. We are courageous, but you have the courage twice as ours. For you chose to step into an environment that needs your help more than ever. Graduating in this pandemic is not for the faint-hearted. You, dear graduates, have the privilege to touch other people's lives. Always believe in yourselves, and we will always be here cheering for all of you. Now, I can now answer my question, why I was chosen as the guest speaker for today's very important event for our dear graduates. I was invited because I am a product of my teachers. I am a product of St. Paul University, Dumaguete. That is why I can conclude that this school, having chosen me as such, is proud of me. And I am am touched that I was still remembered by my school even though I was not an academic achiever during my years. But I am proud to say that I am a Paulinian graduate, and what I have learned here has helped me during my years in law school. And I'm always proud to say that I am not just a Franciscan, I am not just a perpetualite, but I am also a Paulinian graduate. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you very much, Attorney Grace Enrique, for that very inspirational message. Indeed, this time is not for the faint of heart. We need hope, fortitude, and flexibility. To award the plaque of appreciation, may I now call on our University President, Sister Jocelyn R. Lasala, to give the plaque of appreciation to our guest speaker. She will be assisted by Sister Helen Malubay, SPC, Vice President for Academic Affairs, and Dr. Clifford M. Pilat, RN, Dean of the College of Nursing. The plaque of appreciation reads, St. Paul University Dumaguete awards this plaque of appreciation to Attorney Mary Grace Rebosquillo Antique, RN, in appreciation and deep gratitude for sharing her expertise as commencement speaker on its 75th graduation rites, anchored on the theme, Paulinian graduates, gifted to give as bearers of joyful hope. Given this 21st day of May in the year of our Lord 2021 at St. Paul University, Dumaguete City. Signed, Sister Helen A. Malubay, SPC, VP for Academic Affairs, and Sister Jocelyn R. Lasala, SPC, University President. A round of applause, please. May I request everyone to just stay there, as we will now have the photo op with our graduates online on Zoom. So may I request everyone again who are joining us on Zoom to please turn on your cameras, so we will have the photo op with our guest speaker. Please continue smiling. We are still taking your photos. Turn on your cameras, please. Okay. Thank you, Attorney Antique, and we hope to see you often in campus. God bless you and those you love. May I now call Mrs. Mary Frances V. Laquinon, Doctor of Education, Batch 2019 to 2020, for the address of petition.
Reverend Sister President, as we stand before the Triune God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, and in the presence of our parents, the administration, and faculty of this prestigious institution, we, the graduates of Batch 2019-2020, and the graduating class of Batch 2020-2021, present to you our humble petition. Whereas we, the members of the graduates of Batch 2019-2020, and the graduating class of Batch 2020-2021, have fulfilled the requirements of our respective courses of study, as prescribed by the Commission on Higher Education and by St. Paul University, Dumaguete. Whereas St. Paul University, Dumaguete has formed us into integrated persons whose knowledge and lifestyle blend into Christian authenticity. Whereas St. Paul University, Dumaguete has provided us with quality education, which prepared us to perform our temporal role in society. Whereas St. Paul University Dumaguete has molded us into Catholic leaders who are armed with the gospel values and teachings of the Church. And finally, whereas we have been stamped with the indelible marks of Paulinian education, simplicity, warmth, and tranquil daring, which time can never erase, verging forward to exemplify the Paulinian core values, or the 5 C's of Christ-centeredness, commission, community, charism, and charity. Hence, by virtue of the authority conferred on you by the Congregation of the Sisters of St. Paul of Chartres as administrator of its education apostolate here in Dumaguete City, Negros Oriental, and by the virtue of the power vested on you by the Board of Trustees and the Commission on Higher Education as President of St. Paul University Dumaguete, we, the members of the graduates of Batch 2019-2020 and graduating class of Batch 2020-2021, are requesting you, Sister President, to confer on us the degrees and titles we have justly merited. I thank you.
The presentation of candidates. The presentation of candidates for graduation. May I request the graduates to please stand when your degree program is called. To present the candidates for graduation are the deans of the graduate school and the college deans of the different programs. We start with the graduate school to be presented by Dr. Maria Milagros C. Velez, Dean of the graduate school.
Sister President, I have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of Doctor in Education, Doctor in Business Administration, Master of Arts in Education, Master of Business Administration, Master of Science in Environmental Studies, Master of Arts in Nursing, Master of Science in Nursing.
To present the graduates for the College of Arts, Sciences, and Education is Dr. Maricar Flores, Dean.
Sister President, I have the honor to present the candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Secondary Education, Bachelor of Elementary Education.
Ms. Grace Alejado, MIT OIC, Dean of the College of Business and Information Technology, will now present their graduates.
Sister President, I have the honor to present to you the graduates of Batch 2020 and the candidates for graduation for the academic year 2020-2021 for the degrees: Bachelor of Science in Accountancy, Bachelor of Science in Management Accounting, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, Bachelor of Science in Hotel and Restaurant Management, Bachelor of Science in Tourism, Bachelor of Science in Information Technology.
Dr. Clifford M. Kilat, RN, Dean of the College of Nursing, will now present their graduates.
Sister President, I have the honor to present the candidates for the degree of Bachelors of Science in Nursing.
May I now call on the Vice President for Academics, Sister Helen A. Malubay, SPC, for recommendation for admission of the candidates to their degrees.
Sister President, since there is 197 candidates for classes 2020 and 2021 have fulfilled and completed all the requirements prescribed by the respective programs of study, I hereby recommend that they be accepted and admitted to the degrees they have merited.
The President of St. Paul University Dumaguete, Sister Jocelyn R. Lasala, SPC, shall now confer the titles and degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested on me as President of St. Paul University Dumaguete, certified by the Commission on Higher Education of the Republic of the Philippines, and by the power delegated on me by the Board of Trustees, and by the recommendation of the Vice President for Academic Affairs, that you have successfully completed the requirements of the academic programs you have pursued, I confer on you the respective degrees you have merited with all the rights and privileges attached thereto. Graduates, you may now transfer the tassel to the right. Congratulations!
Congratulations to our graduates. You may now take your seats. We will now proceed to the distribution of diplomas and non-academic awards. To start, let me welcome Dr. Maria Milagros Iveles, Dean of Graduate School. She will be assisted by Dr. Richard Pasqua, Program Chair of Nursing Graduate Program.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to present to you the candidates for the degrees of Doctor in Education, Doctor in Business Administration, Master of Arts in Education, Master of Business Administration, Master of Science in Environmental Studies, Master of Arts in Nursing, Master of Science in Nursing, Doctor of Education, Sixto Ricky Hamandron Ausan. Dissertation title, Transparency on the Utilization of Maintenance and Other Operating Expenses among School Heads in the City Divisions of Negros Oriental. Daryl Carcuiba Bahi. Dissertation title, School Readiness and Disaster Management in the Division of Negros Oriental. Maria Lena Ragas Iparwa. Dissertation title, Principal's Emotional Intelligence and Teachers' Motivation. Mary Frances Viga Laquinon. Dissertation title, Environmental Practices of the Colleges of Education in Negros Oriental, Philippines. Chirel Amigo Largo. Dissertation title, Science Teachers' Professional Knowledge, Practices and Attributes and Evaluation. Gerardo Tubio Paltinca Jr., Technical Vocational Livelihood Program of the 6 Divisions of the province of Negros Oriental. Lisit Mendak Silot, dissertation title, Teachers Teaching English in the K-12 Curriculum, The Drawback. Iris Lynn Elnar de Jesus, dissertation title, Teacher's Sense of Self-Efficacy in 2 School Divisions. Regina Clarena Elmaco Empeso, dissertation title, Public School Administrators Competency Level in Monitoring and Evaluation of Selected Programs. Floridienne Llanera Ipan, dissertation title, Factors that Influence Senior High School Students' Preferred Tracks and Strands. Mildred Rosales Monroy, dissertation title, Master Teacher's Rule in the New Normal. Landon Maca Ramirez, dissertation title, Adopted Practices of Secondary School Heads in the New Normal Education. Marisa Grabador Samonte, dissertation title, Knowledge, Skills, and Teaching Strategies of Science Teachers in 2 School Divisions. Mencho Torres Santos, dissertation title, Alternative Learning System, ALS, Implementation in the Province of Negros Oriental. Sarah Jane Cornelio Torres, dissertation title, The Implementation of the School Learning Continuity Plan and Assessment. Doctor in Business Administration. Carlito Dimos Acabal, dissertation title, Profitability and Sustainability of Vermicomposting Business Towards Social Entrepreneurship in Negros Oriental. Maritis Ambalong Andres, dissertation title, MAA Financial Literacy Model for Geriatrics in Negros Oriental. Sheila Soledad Galumpines, Opportunities and Risk of Cacao Farming Business in the Province of Zamboanga del Norte. Grace Paymore Impalmado, dissertation title, Service Quality of Star-Rated Hotels in Zamboanga Peninsula, Philippines. Pearl Ibarra Inquilino, dissertation title, Corporate Social Responsibility of Businesses in the Retirement City of Dumaguete, Philippines. Lovely Real Tinguha, dissertation title, Determinants of Investment Decisions among Retirables towards an Investment Planning Model. Master of Arts in Education, Major Educational Management. James D. Tanco Basas, thesis title, Issues and Concerns of Secondary School Teachers in Negros Oriental High School on Selected Variables. Nilo Burlasa Cadiz, thesis title, An Assessment of the Record Management System of Norso Bais Campus. Daniel Nueki Junson, thesis title, School Heads Leadership Practices. Leia Casil Gumon. This is titled Enhancement of Grade 7 Health Concepts Through Multimedia Utilization. Barcelisa Bantayanon Patrimonio. This is titled Implementation of Bantingel Elementary School-Based Feeding Program, Basis for Enhancement Strategy. Elviera Regalado Kimke. This is titled Overage Secondary Students in Hinterland Schools, Basis for Enhancement Program. Christine Lorin Torreda Tihing. This is titled A Tracer Study on Open High School Graduates, Bayawan National High School, School Year 2007 to 2019. Jenarin Orito Tuting. This is titled Learning English by Heart, the lived experience of pupils on game-based lesson. Girly Tisipaw Ausan. This is titled School-Based Management Practices on Leadership and Governance. Bridget Marie Shianes Banwa. This is titled Challenges Met by the Public Elementary Teachers in the Implementation of the Modular Distance Learning. Sister Maribel Dominique Mulweta Servando, CARM OL. This is titled Lived Experiences of Non-Catholic College Students at Catholic Institutions in Dumaguete City. Master of Arts in Education, Major English Language Teaching. Roxette Saranya Gapol. This is titled Linguistic Editing Performance of Senior Copy Editors. Carlito Aluta Tapis Jr. This is titled Localizing and Indigenizing English and Curriculum, a Phenomenological Study. Sister Maria Cherel Mejio Escobar, CARM OL. This is titled Students' Perceived Level with Emphasis on English Oral Proficiency. Sami Green Chungko Managbanag. This is titled Code Switching, Analyzing Student-Teacher Interaction in a Paulinian Blended Learning Context. Master of Arts in Education, Major Guidance and Counseling. Richelle Orsia Abol. This is titled Filipino Ideals Among College Students, Basis for an Enhanced Guidance and Counseling Program. Master of Arts in Education, Major in Special Education. Jimali Joy Mabaw Akas. This is titled Special Education Teachers' Perceptions on Adaptive Skills and Training in Developing Children with Special Needs. Victorino Piernas Badilla Jr. This is titled Parenting Stress Level and Sense of Competence among Mothers of Children with Autism. Abigail Abrahado Catada. This is titled Parenting Self-Efficacy of Children with Special Needs. Sister Florenda Regalado and Truso CARM OL. This is titled Challenges Met by SPUD Teachers in Lesson Delivery. Fe Samura Lubiano. This is titled Positive and Negative Effects on the Rearing of Children with Intellectual Disabilities upon Caregivers. Maria Christian Sorban Masakayan. This is titled Academic Self-Efficacy, an Efficacy for Self-Regulated Learning among Students with Hearing Impairment. Louis Ilustrisimo Paz. This is titled Self-Care Practices among Parents with Children Diagnosed with Autism Spectrum Disorder. Arlene Mabalod Raffles. This is titled Family Conflict and Parental Stress among Parents of Children with Intellectual Disabilities. Breezy Beads Jodelia Sator. This is titled Parental Stress and Challenging Behavior of Children with Autism Spectrum Disorder. Filomeno Tumagan Tabo. This is titled Parenting Needs of Parents of Children Having Intellectual Disabilities. Master of Arts in Education, Major Curriculum and Instruction. Kenneth Paul Cornelia Duran. This is titled Online Mathematics Learning and Teaching as Perceived by Students and Teachers of St. Paul University, Dumaguete. Erben Kinikito Nuay, Full Sync Effectiveness as an Alternative of Traditional Learning. Master of Arts in Education, Major Early Childhood Education. Maria Divina Veracruz Cornelio. This is titled The Lived Experience of Kindergarten Teachers in the New Normal Education. Master of Science in Environmental Studies, Jerica Marie Sohor Mati. This is titled Pulang Tubig, Bantayan Creek, Water Quality Awareness and Challenges. Noel Acopanda Tubak. This is titled The Philippine Building Code Requirements, Its Awareness and Practice in Dumaguete City. Master in Business Administration. Rene Dasig. This is titled The Salability, Profitability, and the Sustainability of Seaweed Yucuma Crackers in Baez City, Negros Oriental. Adelpha Bailoses Muyet. This is titled Benefits and Challenges of Microfinance in Katipunan, Zamboanga del Norte. Rosemary Humalon Sagario. This is titled Financial Literacy Vis-a-vis Performance of Microenterprises in the City of Dipulog. Lionel Nositi Eniego. This is titled Retirement Preparedness Model of Government Employees. Riza Salvoro Ihan. This is titled Level of Satisfaction among Employees in Colegio de Santa Catalina de Alejandria. Divina Salvi Arquiesa Labidad. This is titled The Effectiveness of Project BRO BSP Reaches Out program utilizing the theory of planned behavior. Jonette Marie Barbosa Tamparo. This is titled The Consumer Behavior of Online Shoppers in Dumaguete City. Master in Business Administration, Major Hospitality and Tourism Management. Isa Ikaw Baga. This is titled, Residents' Response Towards Cebulan Tourism Industry. Chiri Martinez Gonzalez. This is titled, Perceived Utilization of the 7 Ps in Selected Tourist Destination. Noraisa Jampuan Wee. This is titled, Food Safety and Sanitation Practices of the Catering Industry in Dumaguete City. Master of Science in Nursing, Major Advanced Adult Nursing. Perta Marie Salvoro Albarico. Case study title, Utilization of Janice Humphreys Symptom Management Theory in caring for patients with left malignant pleural effusion. Richard Tizo Dumaguete. Case study title, Health Promotion Model and Comfort Theory in the care of patients with pulmonary tuberculosis with comorbidity. Peter Aday Orlino. Case study title, Calls for Nursing of the Nursed with Acute Kidney Injury with Comorbidities, utilizing the process of knowing persons from the technological competency as caring in nursing theory. Sian Juban Senador Sisip. Case study title, Utilization of Boykin and School First Nursing Caring Theory for a patient with tuberculosis and malnutrition. Master of Arts in Nursing, Major in Nursing Administration. Anne Janice Olhon Manga. This is titled, Awareness, Attitudes, and Practices on Testicular and Breast Self-Examination among tertiary school students.
Thank you, Dr. Velez. To distribute the diplomas for the College of Arts and Sciences and Education, let me welcome Dr. Maricar Flores, Dean.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to present to you the graduates for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Secondary Education, Bachelor of Elementary Education for the academic years 2019-2020 and 2020-2021. Bachelor of Arts, Janelle Elardo Nuico, Mass Communication. Aramay Kizo Santos, Mass Communication. Zadora de Padua Villanueva II, English. Bachelor of Secondary Education. Adiel Nina Jean Abuso Balbon, Biological Science. Adrian Jazz Hirazol, MAPE. Hanamay Akson Mariano, Biological Science. Bachelor of Elementary Education. Danica Paculanang Ramos, Special Education. Resel Miras Calusin, General Education. Vanessa Alvarico Orlina, General Education. Christine Joyce Valencia Kitay, Special Education. And Eileen Joyce Tares Suelto, General Education. Congratulations, dear Polinian graduates and parents.
Thank you, Dr. Flores. Let me call on Mrs. Grace Alejado, MIT OIC Dean, College of Business and Information Technology.
Ladies and gentlemen, with honor, I present to you the graduates of academic year 2019 to 2020 and 2020 to 2021 for the degrees Bachelor of Science in Accountancy, Bachelor of Science in Management Accounting, Bachelor of Science in Hotel and Restaurant Management, Bachelor of Science in Tourism, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, and Bachelor of Science in Information Technology. Bachelor of Science in Accountancy, Dailene May Albina Badan. Jeza K. Bonocan Humawan. Saivil Syra Ongko Liboon, with non-academic awards, JPIA Bronze, YMCA Student, Outstanding Student. Angela Anton Baldalovar Mapeso, with non-academic awards, JPIA Bronze, Campus Journalism Silver. Reden Eje Merabedes. Rhea Sabado Nogra, with non-academic awards, Departmental Leadership Bronze, JPIA Silver, PRU Gold, Performing Arts Theater Gold, YMCA Outstanding Student. Faith Angeline Haluwag Villacampa, with non-academic awards, PRU Silver, Psalm Bronze. Celso Alconera Alea Jr. Ira Jewel Tucop Ramos, with non-academic awards, JPIA Silver, PRU Bronze. Bachelor of Science in Management Accounting, Kelvin Floyd Lopez Aguilar, JPIA Gold. Hani Ann Makasukit Amoto. Kiara Grace Gablines Balauro. Mark Clinton Hebulan Balolong, JPIA Bronze. Mary Angel Bulagao Castro. Christine Marie Pancho Gablines. Bonifacio Mariveles Manansala II. Jeneline Albina Pisan. Shannon Monique Ramirez Kinit. Ira Jewel Tucop Ramos. Christine May Salatandol Rosales. Melissa Jane Dihono Sarino, with non-academic awards, Loyalty Awardee, Departmental Leadership Bronze, PRU Silver, Psalm Bronze. Roxanne Elba Silorio, with non-academic awards, Campus Leadership Silver, Service Departmental Bronze, Polinian Student Government Gold, YMCA Outstanding Student. Carlisel Dimples Largo Tagle. Jecil Radones Venezuelo. Dean Rose Macapagal Aguilar, JPIA Bronze. Shaina Gail Favor Bailosis. Harold Hill Agad Manayan. Hazel Akas Tubak. Bachelor of Science in Hotel and Restaurant Management, James Carl Orzaga Bonocan. Gwyneth General Katapusan. Mark Jano Kilingin Katipay. Alvin J. Cornelio Conag. Phoebe Ann Kamay Faborada, Antoniette Lomapas Flores, Kent Joshua Cordero Ilagan, Johanna Marie Ignacio Lapore, Francis Noel Aguilar Liboon, Edsel Piedad Linehan, Michael Nuico Liu, Jerza Marie Rafael Cornelia Moleta, Loyalty Awardee, Irvin Matthew Signap San Agustin, Clint J. Sarino, Althea Louise Ramirez Shenes, Eugene Marie Letuanias Shenes, June Edsel Aldiano Sontosidad, Gestel Lubgaban Sumingit, Joanna Marie Cabebe Toreda, Teodrico Jr. Balbon Yap, April Pauline Candido Arnaiz, Rina Macahelos Forcardas, Maria Sheena Bulfa Ibib, Justin Pante Reyes, Josephine Tejadillo Sabroso, Hannabel Rosario Saga, John Paul Teves, Bachelor of Science in Tourism, Marley Faith Dabocol Baguio, Wedchil Navarro Baldado, Jovenin Penados Cardenas, Alain Claire Lopeman Donio, Jessica Marie Paraguas Emperado, Lara Marie Sanchez Hucom, Carmiel Rotane Manimog, Nicole Reynado Mora, John Colin Palarpalar Morato, Megan Credo Sirion, Shyla Grace Magalang Zamora, Sheila May Sumalinog Larot, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, Clint John Sustento Cabognazon, Marketing Management, with non-academic awards, Service Departmental Bronze, YMCA Outstanding Student. Neil Torres Katakutan, Marketing Management. Melody Joy Marmeto Duran, Marketing Management. Sheila Grace Ricardo Fabular, Marketing Management. Sarah May Caballeda Mendoza, Marketing Management, with non-academic awards, Campus Leadership Silver, Polinian Student Government Gold. Jennifer Torrefanca Osias, Marketing Management, with non-academic awards, Campus Leadership Bronze, Service Department Bronze, Polinian Student Government Silver, YMCA Outstanding Student. John Michael Sardan Pisan, Marketing Management, Loyalty Awardee. Jerry Yen Bagao Rogando, Marketing Management. Johara Eje Asenyas, Marketing Management. Jake Matthews Caruzca Cabigon, Human Resource Development. Freya Jane Makailing Kanya, Marketing Management. Jennifer Makawili Deladia, Marketing Management. Ella May Inolino Estacion, Marketing Management. Jesselu Rebusura Mascardo, Marketing Management. Carla Ray Abordo Mendoza, Marketing Management. Kyrene May Angela Yurong Pepino, Marketing Management, Loyalty Awardee. Neil John Tanyara Sohor, Human Resource Development. Paulo Deshar Tuban, Marketing Management. Bachelor of Science in Information Technology, Jason Al Patrocinio Aguilar. May Angeli Mabilog Cabrera. Gildardo Joseph Damiel Cababanwa. Jude Dallas Estrellado with non-academic awards, Campus Leadership Silver, Colinian Student Government Gold, YMCA Outstanding Student. Shaquille Publico Garong. April Elialine Veleganio Lorca. Rijay Mark Diano Oril. John Paul Ricablanca Retes. Emmanuel Frederick Villacorta Tulayba. Kurt Hovinson Dagle Alcazar. Aldwin John Banta Alcoran. John Christian Dominguez Barrete. George Joshua Duran Calooy.
Thank you, Mrs. Alejado. May I now call on Dr. Clifford M. Kilat, RN, the Dean of the College of Nursing.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to present to you the graduates for the degree of Bachelors of Science in Nursing for the academic years 2019-2020 and 2020-2021. Senya Gador Amorio. Jansel Lagardo Asentista, Non-Academic Awards, Campus Leadership Silver, Polinian Student Government Silver. Rizalita Villanshu Ayunting. Clarice Krill Bromo Kalumba. Gwyneth Jane Kadavid Kasipong. Queenie Felicen Katakutan. Samantha Hyacinth Kyle Castañeda de Asis. Mariced Antoinette Ho Jiao. Veronica Grafe Gajetos. Mayet Kabugnason Gantalaw. Nicole Ann Urut Yamada, Non-Academic Awards, YMCA Outstanding Student. Sybil Claro Macahilos. Niana Tatsado Pabro. Leonela Namuco Palalon. Tulip Dale Hungkway Pastor. Sherry May Balazo Ragay. Glycel Alondra Jean Alaban Viñales. Bianca Justine Loo Villariza, Non-Academic Award, Campus Leadership Silver, Polinian Student Government Bronze, and YMCA Outstanding Student. Gian Sofia Jopano Zosobrado. G. Angela Jopano Zosobrado. Eugene Moises Pahunar Palar. April Jane Kasipong Palencia, Non-Academic Award, Campus Leadership Silver, Polinian Student Government Bronze. Congratulations, dear Polinian graduates and parents.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us give our graduates, their parents, the awardees, a round of applause. We will now have the awarding of Loyalty Award. May I call on Sister Mary Maynard Paglinawan, SPC, represented by Mrs. Angela Christine Ocao, Manager of the Student Affairs, to handle the Loyalty Award. Sister Jocelyn Lasala, SPC University President. She will be assisted by Sister Ellen T. Lorenzana, SPC Local Superior of St. Paul University, Dumaguete, Sisters Community. Mrs. Angela Christine Ocao shall now present the Polinian Loyalty Awardees.
Good morning. A student who studied in St. Paul University, Dumaguete without interruption from kindergarten to high school, that is, graduated kinder, grade school, and senior high school with no record of any disciplinary case, who meritoriously finished the baccalaureate degree in college, is given a Loyalty Award. Ladies and gentlemen, the Loyalty Awardees. Melissa Jane Dihino Sarino, Bachelor of Science in Management Accounting. Jerza Marie Rafael Cornelia Moleta, Bachelor of Science in Hotel and Restaurant Management. John Michael Sardan Pisan, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. Kyrene May Angela Yurong Pipino, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration.
Congratulations, Loyalty Awardees, especially to your parents and guardians who sweated out to give you quality Polinian education. Yes, this Loyalty Award is their lifelong legacy. Congratulations again. The address of gratitude shall be given by Ms. Carla Ray A. Mendoza, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, major in Marketing Management.
Gratitude is a Polinian's heart memory, more powerful than pictures. To our respected University President, Sister Jocelyn R. Lasala, SPC, Sister Helen Malubay, SPC, Vice President for Academic Affairs, SPC sisters, lay administrators, faculty, staff, guests, classmates of the batches 2020 and 2021, good morning. Firstly, and perhaps most obviously, I am filled with a great sense of happiness and accomplishment. My peers and I have put much effort for the past years into being here today. It was by no means easy, and there were many times when I thought I would not reach the finish line. Most, if not all of us, even didn't expect that this ceremony would push through. But those struggles only made this moment sweeter. I was undecided about speaking here today. Not that the problem was I didn't have enough to say, but rather that I wasn't sure how to say it. How does one fully encapsulate those experiences and the feeling of gratitude I feel for at least 1,000 ways this institution has touched my life? When I returned to Dumaguete almost 4 years ago, I didn't know what I was doing with my life or even what I wanted to do with it. Amazingly, because of the abundance of great people in this school, I met people who became friends who felt like family. I feel grateful that God led me to this path, because otherwise I wouldn't have met people who have pushed and motivated me when I was about to give up. I met beautiful people who supported me unconditionally to move forward and fulfill my dream of graduation, especially Patricia, who stayed to be one of my closest friends until now. Aside from the friends I made, God continued to supply. Unexpectedly, I was blessed in the summer of 2018 when Angela de Guzman, who I didn't know at that time was the incoming PSG president, messaged me on Facebook and asked if I'd be interested in joining the Polinian student government. I wasn't sure what Angela saw in me or why he reached out to me, but after pondering on it, I gave it a go. I began my journey to becoming a student leader in an unsure manner. I always considered myself as an ordinary student who just sits around the corner. But because of that one offer I got from a classmate with whom I didn't have any close relationship, my life was changed in so many ways. I was able to do things I didn't think I was capable of. The PSG strives towards the betterment of the student body, a goal which we're united to achieve. And it quickly became a thing that made my years of education brighter. Somewhat unexpectedly, being part of the PSG kept me wanting to come to school every day to help prepare for school events. Even beyond that, I became part of a community that I knew wasn't going to give up on me. I realized that what you get out of this school is what you put into it. It's the people I've met that made this place what it is to me and made me want to succeed. That being said, I have a few people to thank. I'd like to thank Angelo for being consistently amazing throughout my time here. I have never met someone so dedicated to servant leadership. To my mentors in the PSG, our Vice President for Student Services, Sister Mary Maynard, to the SAO managers, Dr. Richard Pascua, Mrs. Maria Rowena Masecampo, Mr. Kenneth Paul Duran, and to all my co-PSG officers who are family to me. Since the beginning, you've believed in me, you've advocated for me when I didn't know how. You taught me that it's not selfish to believe in yourself, and so much more. And those are lessons that I'll remember for life. Thank you. All of us graduates here today can confidently say that we have been transformed into better individuals amidst the hardships we had to endure because of the quality education we have received. We worked hard to get to this point, but we wouldn't get to where we are now without the guidance of the dedicated individuals who have committed their lives in partaking their knowledge to the young. We owe this to the ever-understanding and caring people who've shaped us day by day to become better than who we were before entering the room. To our teachers, thank you for sharing your time, talent, and knowledge with us. You put in great effort to make your lessons more exciting and lighten our mood so we wouldn't get sleepy. Amidst the stress and other problems you face daily, you kept on a smile on your face and never failed to try your hardest to make the most of your time in the classroom. Thank you for being our second parents in this school. Some of you went beyond what was expected from your job and gave pieces of advice when we had problems. You made us feel your concern and love. You set us and challenged us to live up to our dreams. You never hesitated to deliver more than what's due when there comes the time for need. To all our faculty and staff, thank you for keeping things running smoothly. And of course, to our guidance counselors, thank you for listening and help keep us on the right track. I have always been inspired by your creativity and positivity. The diploma we received today is not just a proof of our glory, but also our central support system's blood, sweat, and tears. It would not be fair to speak words of gratitude without acknowledging the people there for us outside the school premises. On behalf of all the graduates, I wish to express my most profound and honest appreciation for all the support we've received from our parents and guardians. You believed in our potential and supported us every step of the way. You've celebrated us through achievements and consoled us at times of great difficulties. A good education can be costly, yet you managed to find ways to get us to the finish line. Mama and Papa, I made it here all because of you. Lastly, on this graduation day, I want to return all praises and thanks to God for granting me a journey of mercies and miracles. I thank God for giving me the strength to carry forward with my academics. Thank you, God, for this beautiful life and everything else as well. Now that I have fulfilled this dream of mine, I wish to share my triumphs and joy that I feel, realizing that my effort, dedication, persistence, constancy, and not being defeated by any obstacle made this possible. Behind each graduate lies a story of how at least a dozen people pushed them towards their dream. Fellow graduates, at this point, the best way we can show our gratitude is to make the most of the opportunity we've been given and go forward into the world to make it a better place for the generations that follow us. With all we're walking out equipped with, I do not doubt that we can turn that into reality. Again, congratulations to all of us, Caritas Christi or Jet Nos.
Thank you, Ms. Mendoza. It is indeed a journey of mercies and miracles, and for that we can only be grateful for this truly joyous occasion. The graduates shall now be inducted into the St. Paul University Dumaguete Alumni Association. Graduates, please rise and please remain standing until the Pledge of Loyalty and the singing of the Polinian hymn. To do the honor of induction of graduates to the SPUD Alumni Association is Mrs. Consolacion Hilda F. Eli, Member, Board of Directors of the SPUD Alumni Association, Incorporated.
Graduates, please answer I do to the questions I shall ask you. Do you acknowledge the valuable benefits of the education, physical, intellectual, and spiritual, which you have received in St. Paul University Dumaguete? Do you sincerely desire to uphold the principles of the education you have received? Do you promise to lead decent, honest, and exemplary lives at home, in school, in the church, and in the society? Do you resolve to remain united with the Paulinian spirit of the institution? Do you, therefore, want to become active members of the Alumni Association of St. Paul University Dumaguete? Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. Upon my word of honor, I state your name. Hereby resolve to do my duty as a worthy member of the Alumni Association of St. Paul University Dumaguete, Alumni Association, in accordance with the Constitution of the Association. So help me God. Congratulations and welcome to the St. Paul University Alumni Association.
The Pledge of Loyalty shall be led by Ms. Melissa Jane D. Sarino, Bachelor of Science in Management Accounting, and Polinian Loyalty Awardee.
Fellow graduates, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. We solemnly pledge to keep alive our love and loyalty to our dear alma mater, St. Paul University Dumaguete, to prove ourselves worthy of the ideals of Filipino Catholic personhood, to be true Paulinians always, with the charity of Christ for our fellow men, our country, and our God.
Dear graduates, it is now time for us to capture this momentous event of your historic blended Polinian graduation. Batch 2019 and 2020 and Batch 2020-21, may I request all the graduates to please turn on their cameras, but remain muted, and please refrain from using the chat box at this point, as it will interfere with the picture taking. The graduates shall now sing the St. Paul hymn. Please all rise and please remain standing until the exit of the graduates.
Children of His love at school, the loving nurse of all. Rejoice in God, do work and play, be true from day to day. Beloved school of mine, my pains and joys are thine. My childhood's early dreams, the hope that heaven brings, thou dost unfold to me, thou dost unfold to me. Sweet are the days of childhood, with friends we love and care. Those golden links of childhood, whose sympathy we share. To stay listen to His call. Oh, children of His love at school, the loving nurse of all. Rejoice in God, do work and play, be true from day to day. Beloved school of mine, my pains and joys are thine. My childhood's early dreams, the hope that heaven brings, thou dost unfold to me, thou dost unfold to me.
At this point, we would like to request everyone to please remain in your respective places until the university officials, members of the faculty, and graduates shall have left the hall. Thank you very much for joining us. To the SPUD Dumaguete members of the Board of Trustees, Save Coconut Foundation, UCPB, CIIF, alumni, graduates, and parents. Ladies and gentlemen, 75th Commencement exercises of St. Paul University Dumaguete is hereby officially concluded. To the graduates and their parents, congratulations. Caritas, Veritas, Scientia. The university motto: Caritas, charity or love; Veritas, truth, who is God; Scientia, that is excellence. Forge forward and remember, once Apollinian, forever Apollinian. Thank you and God bless you.